had actually been in my own business for 8 years before I had the panic attack. The local economy really went into a very difficult time. It was the early 80s, it was the oil bust as we all knew it, and it was a very unpleasant time. We were at about 20 people on a Friday, and on Monday we were 4. It rattled me, and I needed to do an assessment. I felt like that I needed to explore all my opportunities, and so the only place to go was New York, and I made arrangements and interviews, and went to New York and did that, and interviewed with 4 or 5 people, and my last interview was Philip Johnson at the Seagram's building, and Philip arrived and said, "Well, come into my office and we'll sit and talk." And I remember to this day talking to him, and his desk is very clean, and a roll of yellow tracing paper and a pencil cup. We had a wonderful conversation, and he said, "Well, are you ready?" And I said, "Well, I think I am." And he said, "Well, I'm making you an offer. When can you start?" I was surprised. I didn't expect that. And I remember exiting, going down to the plaza, and sitting on the bench and watching the cabs go by and all that process, and thinking, "This is it. What are you going to do? You've had your own business for 8 years. You've reached a point that is a crossroads. This is pivotal. Here's the opportunity. You've been hoping for this opportunity. Here it is. What are you going to do?" And I said no. I thought to myself, had I worked hard enough in those 8 years to be confident about what I was doing? Was I just copping out? Was I giving in? Was I succumbing to failure, if you will, or some expectation in life that wasn't being fulfilled? And I decided my choices are to go to work for Philip and do this, and my life will go in a very different direction, or to go back to Oklahoma City and dig in. I mean, really, really dig in to a point where I could truly make a difference. And that was my choice. It was the very best choice I could have What was particularly important, I think, about that moment and that time was I began to understand how critical this connection to the land really is. I mean, it's the concept of going below the surface, digging deeper about what matters in a particular place. And I absolutely believe that if you were to explain these kinds of things to people, they will understand it. And then when you create a space or a building that reacts to that, they will get it there, and it will have a lasting effect. Professors would talk about light, and they would talk about Corbu, and they would talk about Louis Kahn, and it was like, I don't get the light thing. What is the light thing? And it was all the way through college that I would hear this, and they would try to beat me over the head. It's the light. And it didn't soak in. And so the transition for me from not getting it, not understanding what the professors were trying to beat into my brain about the light, was that every project you step back and look at what is the word painting, what is the origination, what is this idea that so beautifully talks to this particular project. And I often tell people, what are these projects? They're architectural portraits. They are portraits of a client or a condition or a piece of land or a circumstance that we try to interpret in such a way that in the end it connects. And very much the same kind of thing, how you use the light. And I began to realize that I will spend the rest of my life chasing the light, trying to find a way to capture that light and to allow these forms to shape that light in such a way that it uplifts the human spirit. We did a very interesting project in Clinton, in the city that I was born. It's not been built yet, but it is called the Wagon Wheel Country Club. I was trying to define what this building meant, and in that agrarian atmosphere, and this is what I see happening there. Pioneers. Wheat and great green and cattle and farms. There is oil and twisting wind and heat and hail. There is a plowed soil with deep furrows and terraces to hold the rain. There are tractors and tin wedges and dots on the field. Big hands and a farmer's tan signal heroes of the land. Look for shade and shelter. Welcome the southern breeze and be careful of the north. The earth and the sky touch as the building emerges from the soil. Landscape, landmark, look west and celebrate sundown. And those are the essences of that landscape and a form that can communicate very well to people.